Mornin', mortals of the realm of Terra. I am Naservin Mestrov, but you may call me Master Serv, creature of Rye, member of the Volkrog clan, and today it is my very great privilege to read for you an excerpt of Dragon Blood by Katie Cherry. I'm not familiar with this work at all. These people are new to me, so I'm very excited to get to know new friends, and I'll have to go check them out when I get and go visit their world when I get done here. Because it's always fun to make new friends. Excerpt from Dragon Blood by Katie Cherry. Are you kidding me? Myra exclaimed as a car stopped in front of a dark building, the neon sign flashing. Finley's Pub. A bar? A pub is a little different, Harper smiled, her excitement untouched by Mira's cynicism. Daniel got out and walked to open her door as she talked. You can just get dinner here. You don't have to drink, though I would love it if you'd try, she winked, accepting Daniel's hand. Help her get out of the car. Frowning, Myra opened the door and followed with a grunt. The rain was lighter now, but they still hurried to get inside the bar before all of Harper's work got ruined. Inside, it did look like a restaurant, but with a bar on the side and a pool table along another side. They got a few stares as the door closed behind them. The bell tinkling as it brushed it. Harper beamed, clearly happy to see her work succeeding. Myra, however, quickly ducked her head and scurried as fast as she could in heels to the nearest table, sliding into the worn wooden seat. Harper chuckled as she followed, more slowly and elegantly, slipping into the seat across from her. Daniel sat between them, staring down any man who looked at his fiancée too long. Welcome to Finley's Pub, a man said, standing to Mira's left by the open seat at the table. She didn't look up, trying to hide her red face behind her shortened hair. What would you like? Would you like a drink to get started? Water, Myra quickly ordered before Harper could say anything. Ooh, water, that's always good. All right, the man agreed, his voice soft. Myra glanced up at him through her hair. He seemed nice enough, a clean-shaven face, soft, stormy blue eyes, and a sharp outfit. He smiled at her, revealing a dimple on the left side of his mouth, and handed her a menu. Let me know if you change your mind, he added with a wink she almost didn't catch before he turned to Harper and Daniel. And for you two? After taking their drink orders, both alcoholic, Myra was pretty sure, the man left. Ooh, he was cute, Harper gushed as soon as he was out of earshot. Really, Mira? Tall, sweet, that dimple, those muscles? Daniel glanced at her, and she hastily continued. I mean, he's obviously not my type. Of course she says that with her fiancé sitting right there. But you should totally talk to him. I caught his name from his tag. Rice Rune. Sounds like a cool guy. Myra Rune? Rice Rune. That almost sounds like it belongs in Ariel's archaeology book. Oh my, stop! Myra exclaimed, her face beet red. What is this work that, I'm confused. It says that, Harper has some work that didn't want to get messed up by the rain. I'll have to ask Kestrel. She's far more insightful about these things than I am, and she's probably watching the story as it happens, because, that's what guardian angels do. You're seriously already tacking a stranger's name onto mine? Well, if you don't want to be spontaneous, I don't. Myra suddenly snapped, shocking Harper into silence. Why would that shock her? I was expecting Myra to snap. Harper must not be paying close enough attention to how her friend reacts. After a moment, Myra shyly continued. I'm trying, okay? Just don't push it too far. I'm doing this for you, but you can't make anyone fall in love or anything, so just please, don't even fantasize about it. She hadn't meant to lash out, but her love life had been pretty barren since high school, thanks to her perpetual illness. Oh, that's sad. Whatever that was. Okay, sorry. Ooh, she's perpetually sick, but she doesn't know why. I hope she gets it figured out. Okay, sorry, Harper whispered, taken aback by Myra's out-of-character outburst. An awkward silence persisted around the table until Reese returned with their drinks, everyone just staring at their menu. After they ordered their food, Myra followed them to the bar, taking the last open stool without persuasion. Do you want to? Harper hesitantly began, one eyebrow arched questioningly. Myra responded with a sharp, decisive nod. Apparently, I'm not going to need alcohol to get me through tonight. What's the best drink for a beginner? She asked the bartender. Oh, apparently I'm going to need alcohol to get me through the night. Peer pressure. I know just the thing. He grinned, electric blue eyes staring back into her own. Bailey's Irish Cream. It's practically a dessert. He smiled, pouring her some into a glass she'd only seen in TV shows before now. Thanks, she said awkwardly. And movies. You see them in movies. Thanks, she awkwardly responded, hesitantly reaching out for the glass, running a finger along the edge. She was acutely aware of everyone's eyes on her. Apparently, as a virgin to alcohol, she was interesting enough to draw the gaze of everyone within hearing. Steeling herself, she smoothly lifted the glass to her lips and took a sip. Harper watched, biting her lip as she tried to contain her excitement. It was sweet and felt smooth as it slid down her throat, and surprisingly didn't burn as much as she expected it to. Not bad, she said, feeling obliged to announce her judgment to all those who watched. She was greeted with smiles and nods as they all turned back to their own stronger drinks. Apparently, Irish Cream was a favorite. Myra smiled, feeling she had dodged a bullet. Relaxing into the bar stool, she closed her eyes, relief pounding through her due to their yellow eyes. Spinning, Myra searched for the voice, quickly finding it coming from a small TV near them. The caption read, "Denver Demons Still at Large." Myra began to sweat nervously as the broadcast went on, talking about two men who were suspected kidnappers who wore yellow contacts, hence spurring the name Demons. It took a few minutes and a few gulps of her drink to calm down, but eventually she did. Just because I saw them passing doesn't mean I'm any sort of danger. They came into closer contact with like 10 people just while I watched them. Still, she was glad for the drink beginning to dull her senses as the night wore on, especially as guys started coming over and flirting with her. Finally, Myra had enough. Once the fifth guy had come over to introduce herself. "I'm going to head home now," she announced to a now very drunk Harper. "No," Harper moaned, pulling in for a hug. "I'm having so much fun." "I'm sure, but I'm getting tired," Myra responded, not expanding upon her explanation with why social outings were draining to her. "Okay, fine," Harper replied to Reese, pointing at him. "But you have to go home with him." That's subtle. Myra couldn't help but laugh at her friend, as well as Reese's surprised expression. "Harper, I'll be fine. It's not a long walk, and it stopped raining." She began to walk away before Harper could demand more of her, slipping her jacket back on as she approached the door and grabbing the small purse Harper had lent her for the night. Pushing aside the door eagerly, why does she need to be lent a purse? I thought girls had them in droves. At least mortals on Terra. Maybe this isn't Terra. We'll have to read on. Pushing against the door eagerly, she smiled at the cool, damp breeze that greeted her, and seemed to pull her back to her senses a little more. She didn't think she was drunk, likely thanks to how much food she ate, and that she only had the 1 or 2 shots the bartender gave her to drink, but she still felt a little affected by it. It's not too bad, she thought to herself, smiling as she walked down the street with an energy she hadn't felt in 10 years. Or years, just years. I should have tried this earlier. A giggle burst from her lips, surprising her, but she just grinned and laughed as she continued home. Feeling better than she had in longer than she cared to remember, she could almost forget that her constant stomach pain. She winced as the thought sharpened the pain, cutting through the nice haze the drink had put in her. Sighing, she continued home, picking up her pace as her toes, wet from the rainwater pulling on the dark roads and sidewalks, began to freeze. Oh, poor girl. Frozen toes are never fun. She froze as she neared a corner, noticing two men in long raincoats standing beneath a streetlight ahead, their faces shadowed by their hats, panic rising into her throat. She darted across the street, clinging to the shadows, praying they didn't notice her. She ran the near half mile remaining to the house, cursing the heels the whole way, eventually taking them off and holding them in her hand to run faster. Finally, she reached the small house. She leaned against the door, panting. As she looked the way she had come, relief flooded her as she saw nothing. That's good. That's when the pain in her abdomen seemed to explode. Crying out, she crumpled to the ground, clutching her stomach as tears began to run down her cheeks. The pain gradually increased, pulsing through her. She managed to look up as it reached a peak, right into a pair of yellow eyes. And there you have it. I'm just over 10 minutes, so I hope you guys excuse the extra moment. But that was Dragon Blood by Katie Cherry.